After settling the situation with the starving chicks somewhere off-screen, the danger around Zeke finally faded. The young hatchlings that had nearly torn him apart moments earlier were no longer acting aggressive. Instead, the little creature that had once looked ferocious now trembled pitifully, sweat dripping down its tiny body as it whimpered in complete defeat. Zeke brushed the dirt from his clothes and reflected on how close he had come to becoming bird food immediately after arriving in this strange place. Taking in his surroundings, he quickly realized that this world was nothing like the one he came from. Everything about it felt hostile, wild, and unfamiliar. His attention shifted toward the enormous bird family nearby. These giant fluffy creatures hardly matched the terrifying image he had imagined when hearing stories about chaos monsters. Curious, he reached out and gently touched the massive mother bird, finding her surprisingly soft and oddly adorable despite her intimidating size. As he climbed across her back, his expression slowly changed. The creature's condition was terrible. Her feathers were tangled and dull, her body painfully thin, and every movement carried exhaustion. Zeke inspected her more carefully and confirmed that she was badly weakened, likely injured as well. The bird flinched slightly under his touch, revealing just how much pain she had been hiding. Standing before the frail creature, Zeke wondered what could have reduced such a massive being to this miserable state. But before he could think further, his mood shifted. For some time now, he had sensed an unsettling presence stalking them from afar, and it was rapidly approaching. Soon the answer revealed itself. Far in the distance, the sky darkened beneath a massive swarm of approaching figures. Countless insect-like monsters surged through the air, wrapped in an eerie purple aura that radiated pure hostility. The moment the mother bird noticed them, panic consumed her. Instinctively, she retreated behind Zeke, treating him as the only thing standing between her family and death. At that moment, Zeke understood everything. These insects were the true chaos monsters. The starving bird family had become their prey, and the swarm had returned to finish the hunt. He calmly assessed the enemies closing in around them. The smaller locust-like creatures were around 3-star level, dangerous enough on their own, but their leader was clearly stronger, a true 4-star threat. Glancing back at the mother bird and her chicks, Zeke saw how pitiful their situation really was. The family was starving, exhausted, and barely surviving. Despite the hopeless odds, the mother bird's fear slowly began to change. At first, she looked ready to flee, believing escape was their only option. Yet as she looked down at her trembling chicks, something fierce awakened inside her. Driven by pure maternal instinct, the weakened creature spread her wings wide and positioned herself protectively over her young, preparing to fight to the very end, even if it meant certain death. The sight amused Zeke in the best possible way. A faint smile appeared on his face as he watched the bird stand her ground. Even the tiny chicks joined in, puffing out their chests and chirping defiantly beside their mother. Their courage in the face of overwhelming terror impressed him deeply, and that spirit made his decision for him. As the chaos swarm descended, with murderous intent filling the air, the mother bird lunged forward to confront them. Zeke moved beside her without hesitation, charging directly into the incoming horde. One of the smaller locust monsters rushed toward him first. Zeke intercepted it effortlessly, seizing the creature by its grotesque head, before crushing it with a single devastating punch. The insect's skull exploded instantly, spraying green gore everywhere. Covered in bug blood, Zeke's eyes gleamed with dangerous excitement. The first enemy had fallen easily, but the swarm remained undeterred. The 4-star leader and the countless insects behind it continued their relentless advance, as though the death of their ally meant nothing at all. Behind him, the mother bird stared in complete disbelief. Her beak hung open as she struggled to comprehend the monstrous strength this strange human possessed so casually. Then Zeke finally decided to become serious. A terrifying blood-red aura erupted from his body, dark energy radiating outward as his eyes glowed ominously. The atmosphere itself seemed to freeze under the pressure he unleashed. High above the battlefield, a gigantic draconic eye materialized in the sky, staring down upon the swarm with overwhelming dominance. The effect was immediate. Every insect in the swarm froze in terror, completely paralyzed beneath the crushing force of Zeke's dragon pressure. His silhouette darkened beneath the ominous aura as he silently gave them a final warning. Retreat now or face complete annihilation. The draconic presence hanging above them made the outcome painfully clear. Unable to endure the suffocating pressure, the swarm finally broke. The insects abandoned their attack and fled into the distance in complete panic. Watching them disappear, Zeke casually remarked to himself that the creatures had terrible taste anyway. Even so, there was a certain excitement in battle that he found himself enjoying more and more lately. Still, after the enemies vanished, exhaustion briefly crossed his face. Wiping sweat from his forehead, he admitted internally that using dragon pressure while still weakened placed a considerable strain on his body. Nearby, the mother bird continued staring at him in stunned silence. Her trembling had not stopped, but now it came from sheer awe rather than fear. As she slowly approached the corpse of the dead bug, she nudged it weakly with her beak, clearly drawn by hunger. Zeke noticed immediately. Without hesitation, he gestured toward the carcass, offering it to her as food. The starving bird wasted no time and tore into the chaos monster desperately, finally getting nourishment after what was clearly a long period of suffering. A brief flashback revealed the full story. Earlier, while searching for food for her starving chicks, the mother bird had been ambushed by this same swarm of chaos bugs, barely surviving the encounter. She escaped with severe injuries. On her return journey, exhausted and desperate, she had spotted Zeke falling from the sky and instinctively viewed him as potential prey. Back in the present, the situation had completely changed. The chicks now slept peacefully beside their mother, their tiny bodies sprawled out with full stomachs, while drool dripped from their beaks in contentment. Looking at the sleeping family, Zeke reflected on how he had almost become bait for them earlier. Somehow, though, the strange encounter felt almost destined, and because of that feeling, he made a decision. The mother bird lifted her head in confusion as Zeke looked toward her with renewed determination. Seeing how desperately the family needed food, he decided he would help transform the weak creature into a true predator, one powerful enough that she and her chicks would never suffer from starvation again. Excitement returned to his face as he flexed his arm confidently. The hunt was about to begin. Elsewhere, deep within the forest below, another scene unfolded. A sharp blade pierced through the corpse of yet another chaos bug, while a group of sharply dressed men surveyed the battlefield. These individuals belonged to the Kerberos family, their formal suits and fedoras giving them the appearance of refined gentlemen, despite the violence surrounding them. Their leader calmly examined the remains of the battle before dismissing the mysterious rift and dead insects as insignificant distractions. At his command, the men unsheathed sleek katanas in unison, standing amidst the carnage with his own blade gleaming ominously. The leader finally announced that the true mission could now begin. The lizard hunt had officially started,